What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, we're going to take a look at some custom work that I did on a Nightwing in the DC Universe classic style. Now, of course, I've always been a big Nightwing fan. He is, of course, Dick Grayson, the original Robin, later on to become his own character and man and take care of his own city. He became Nightwing. Now, of course, everybody knows I'm a huge DC Universe Classics fan. I collected the whole series twice. Back here is my loose collection. I also have my mint in box collection. And I've always gone back to DC Universe Classics because I just think it is one of the best DC figure lines that was ever released. Just awesome. You have over 200 figures. Just an awesome series. And all the other titles that branched off of it. Now, of course, the original release of Nightwing in DCUC, you do have releases before from DC Superheroes, which were actually just remolds from the original Batman Mattel line around 2003. Those Nightwings I do have. I'll show those whenever I do my complete Nightwing collection. But today we're going to concentrate on DC Universe Classics. Now, this is the original Nightwing. When I first picked this up years ago, he was an awesome figure. He came out in Wave 3. And it was just the basic color scheme, blue and black, for the original Nightwing. He did come with his 2 Eskrima sticks, but they were not painted. They were just silver. No reason why they did that, but that's just how they released it. Now, of course, later on there were more releases. A lot of them from the game, from the Arkham game. I do have one Nightwing from those releases, but I just never really got into the video game, so I never picked up a lot of Nightwing figures that were based on the games. So my collection is more figured on just DC Universe Classics and DC Unlimited and stuff like that. But beautiful figure. I really loved having him in the collection. Now later on he was released as a single, just as like a anniversary edition, but with the same color scheme. And then later on after that, they released them, I think it was the 75th or the All-Star, something like that. And they released this variant, which was labeled the Renegade Nightwing suit. Now, as you could see, it did change the chest emblem, more of like a New 52. But besides that, they kept it pretty much the same. Now, on the head sculpt, it still has the mask, but they painted like the whole top part of his face in like this brown color. That was another thing I never got. I think in the comics there is where it's brown and red like this, but they did change the chest design. He still came with his batons, the places to store his sticks on his back. So I was happy with him. Now, they never actually released a New 52 red and black Nightwing. And all this comes from where eventually I thought, well, this one has the chest emblem different, but he's not black. And then this one has the right mask paint job, but his eyes are not red. So eventually what I did is I picked up another one of these Nightwings, the Renegade ones, and then I had already another Nightwing from like way before he was just sitting in package. You know what I bought him for? For the Grundy part, so I could build the Solomon Grundy, and I just had him, sitting there. So the other change I wanted to make was I wanted to put the blades on his gauntlets to make them more like the comic. Now, DC Essentials did release a blue version and then a red version, and the red version is more like the new 52 version where he has the blades here, the all black getup. I just ordered both those figures, so this week they should be coming in. But I want a DC Classics version. So what I ended up figuring out was I picked up. Now this is the Batman that was the new 52 Batman, released later on as the All-Stars for DC Universe Classics. Now there is 3 of these figures, the same figure but just a different plastic. One's shiny, one's just a regular matte, and then there's one that was like a cheap version that was like more just like a gray. I do have all 3 of those figures, but in the process of picking up those figures, I picked up an extra one of these DC Unlimited ones. I picked up an extra one of these that was one I already had. So for the longest time, he was just in a box with the rest of my like extra figures. So I had a brainstorm, and I said, you know what? Those gauntlets would fit perfectly on the Nightwing, and the boots actually look a little bit more like the new 52 style Nightwing. And then I measured them up because sometimes the pegs could be different sizes, and no, they fit up perfectly. So taking the body from the Renegade Nightwing, the head from the original release Nightwing, and the gauntlets and the boots from this new 52 Batman, I did make my own new 52 Nightwing in the DC Universe Classic style. So I ended up painting in his eyes red, which came out pretty cool. Looks just clean. I did have to paint the whole figure black over this brown color for the Renegade figure. Now, the best thing you could do is sand a little bit of the joints so that you don't get any paint rub. But you don't have to, but it's just better. And then you paint it and then you clear coat it. That way it resists from the bend of peeling your paint. Now you may get some a little bit, and just all you have to do is repair that site and sand it a little bit more. I mean, it is what it is. But aside from having to like take apart the whole figure and do each joint and everything, actually it came out pretty good because his knees still bend and they don't rub the paint, and so do the elbows. But I ended up having to boil some water, soften them up, take off the arms and then the lower legs, and then replace the ones with the ones from the Batman. And those were mostly black already, so I didn't really have to paint those as much, but you do have to paint like the upper knees. But it just came out really cool. I did paint his Eskrima sticks in all black and then coated them so that the paint will not rub off. The gauntlets fit right in with this figure. And actually the boots also fit right in because they have like these separations in the sculpt. And that's kind of what the boots look like on the new 52 Nightwing. And then these also have some awesome tread on the bottom, which I really appreciate. So now this Nightwing that I made has the gauntlets, the gauntlet blades, the black Eskrima sticks, the right chest paint job. He still has his storage for his sticks on the back. He has the cool boots, and the boots even have tread, and he still has articulation. So he came out pretty awesome. He will be up on my custom shelf, and one day I will do my complete Nightwing collection. Pretty cool. You do have the new McFarlane Nightwing releases, but when they did that red Nightwing, of course they didn't add the gauntlet blades. So this is just something I personally wanted to do, but I'm really happy with them. I'm done with them. Didn't take me as long as a lot of other projects. This one I did in a couple of days, but really happy with him. He's gonna fit right in the collection. So if you ever wanted a classic DC Universe style Nightwing, but with the new 52 suit, this is it. And then with the body I had left over, I actually just painted the head sculpt from the Renegade to match his suit. So this guy's just, like an oddity, but he's cool. I have actually, of this version of Nightwings, I have around 10 different color schemes, and I'll be showing those off when I do my whole collection. But job well done. Really happy with it. Stay safe out there. Keep collecting, and I will see you on the next one.